Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let's give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. Now, we had Deku, and we also had Ochako. Deku and Ochako were members of the press. Deku, being the Daily Bugle's scientific consultant, went to an expo that showed off tech from multiple huge companies. And the expo was attacked by the Sinister Six, aka Craven, Venom, Doc Ock, Mysterio, Scorpion, and Hobgoblin. Now, Deku got to meet Oswey Osborn and Harry Osborn, and in the chaos, he lost the two. Now, Deku, whenever he was attacked, he was overwhelmed. He was just trying to buy time and dodge attacks. He was trying to attack, yes, but he was mainly hoping the other two, aka Silk and even Anya, maybe even Jessica or Julia, he was hoping that anyone around of the Spider family would come to his aid. And luckily, two of them did. Now, Deku was quite happy about all that, and they were able to defeat the Sinister Six. However, Deku and Silk were both injured pretty badly. Deku was almost crushed to death, and Silk was exposed to Scorpion's poison, along with her even sustaining a few more injuries. Now, with that being said, we do currently pick up with Deku. Deku, he was quite surprised, quite alarmed. And the fact was, there was even the Daily Bugle. The Daily Bugle, they ran with the story of the Sinister Six, and it was a popular story. The fact was, you got to see these superheroes working together, and now you know they're all properly connected. Yes, they're spider-themed heroes, so yes, there's a spider team. And that says quite a bit. I mean, Jameson wants to give bad press to the other two, but he's not really too sure how to go about it. I mean, Spider-Man is quite simple. That's a personal vendetta. But those two, they popped up later, way later. And so far as he knows, they don't appear to be criminals. I mean, yes, they work outside the law and are vigilantes, but they're trying to do what they think is right. At least in Jameson's twisted mind. Jameson is still mad at Spider-Man. And Deku currently does get a walk into Jameson's office. And Jameson, he does want a few answers. Because what Deku gave him, it's still pretty weird to try and piece apart, and that's another thing. And Deku, he does start to explain a few things to Jameson before he is going to leave. And right now, while all that is happening, we do currently cut to a jail cell, where, right now, Bakugo Katsuki, he does sit there. Something is very, very wrong with Venom. Something does not make sense. It's in pain. It's afraid. It's hurt. Whatever the hell is wrong with the symbiote, it isn't good. And that actually does make him a bit more scared. If his symbiote dies, he won't have these amazing powers, amazing abilities. He won't be like Deku. He'll just be a normal man again. And Venom can sense Bakugo's fear. And right now, Bakugo, he does just sit there. As we do actually have his cellmate, who they do at least try to ask Bakugo questions, wondering about exactly what he's been doing and what he's been up to. As you know, Bakugo, he does try to ignore the serial killer. Now, with that being said, we do cut back over to Deku. And Deku, he is still in his apartment. He's been going through a few things and trying to understand what to do. And there actually is where Ochako does go to ring his phone. Hello? Hey, Izuku, I had a few questions. About? It was about what happened at the expo the other week. Listen, I was wondering if you'd want to come with me to have lunch with the Osborns? The Osborns. Yes, yes. Well, I was able to get an interview locked down with the two. And they're actually quite happy with the story we ran for the Daily Bugle. So I was hoping that you could help. I can, but could I bring my girlfriend Cindy? Oh, you're in a relationship. I didn't know that. Yeah, sorry. I'm just I know I know it's work technically, but I just feel like going with her would be good. Um, I can ask and see, but does she have any background in the same stuff that you do? She doesn't, but I just thought it'd be a good idea. I can ask her if she wants to go and see that way if that's not too big of a deal. Oh, um, sure, maybe. I'll call them and ask. I don't think they'll mind, but I'll just give them a warning. All right, thanks. Deku gonna hang up. And right now, Deku, he does actually bring his hand out and go to put his foot back down onto the ground. Him going to lower himself down from the web. And right now, Deku, he actually is still trying to stretch out his back. What happened the other week definitely still affected him. Honestly, that's probably the second worst he's ever been hurt. He's gotten his ass kicked pretty badly, but I mean, almost being crushed to death? That is definitely not on his to-do list. He's a spider, and yeah, he'd rather not have to go through that experience. Yikes. So there's that. Now, Deku, he does actually go to make a phone call. And Cindy does get the call. Hello? Hey, I was wondering, what time are you off of work? Oh, um, I'll be off soon. Why? I was wondering if you want to go out and get lunch with Ochako and the Osborns. How are you going to lunch with the Osborns? I was invited along by Ochako. Honestly, it sounded like a good offer, but I don't know. I just thought maybe I should bring you along. Izuku, she's a work associate. I'm sure you'll be fine. I know, but going out to lunch with the Osborns, I'm fairly certain that things will be okay, but I just wanted to go out, you know? If you want to go out to dinner, we'll go out to dinner tonight, but lunch is not as personal. Though, do be careful. Those two are a bit weird. What do you mean weird? I mean, I just don't trust them. Why? They're the children of Norman Osborn, and that man is crazy. I mean, you heard about Asgard, right? Yeah, that's a fair point, I guess, but they're nothing like him. I mean, they're perfectly sane. Right. Right. So, uh, hold on. I gotta talk to my boss. I'll call you back. Wait, Cindy, her gonna hang up. And Deku, he does actually gonna stare at his phone and wait. And then there actually is Ochako. Ochako does give a phone call. And Deku, after a few minutes, he got that call, and he was told that bringing her along would be fine. And Deku, sadly, he got a text from Cindy, talking about how she may have to give a rain check on lunch. And Deku, yeah, he went out with Ochako and the Osborns. And the Osborns were definitely quite intrigued to talk to Izuku again. I mean, they've had some scientists explain tech before, and reading it in the paper what Deku explained, he's a very brilliant mind. So, they were hoping not only to talk to the Daily Bugle about possibly another story, but even about certain tech. And that would be the perfect opportunity to talk to Izuku, since he's a very interesting individual. Now, with that being said, the Osborns, they were currently sitting in a restaurant, Whenever Deku showed up, he felt his spark sense go off. Him looking around. And there actually was where the two, they were someone sitting there, asking Deku as Harry is going to stand up and walk over, if he's alright. Hmm? Yeah, I'm fine. Just, I thought I smelled something. You're probably smelling the desserts. This place is famous for them. Really? I don't think I've ever heard of this place. A bit fancy, but it's worth it. Trust me. Don't worry about the bill. We'll handle that part. On us, of course. We invited you out here. Right. Deku gonna walk into the restaurant. And whenever he actually is taken to the table, there is the fact that Deku does a sit down and start to talk to Harry and Asui. And things go a bit interestingly. Asui is intrigued to talk to Izuku about a few things. While she may handle certain business proportions of the corporation or the business side, Harry handles a bit more of the personal side. Harry, he may not be as ruthless or cutthroat as his sister, but he's very, very to the point and determined, very driven. And that is the difference between the two. One is ruthless and the other is without restraint for what needs to be done. Now, the two, they were quite impressed with Deku's intelligence. They were quite intrigued. And then actually Deku, he felt his spark sense go off twice. He was surprised and alarmed. Himley is going to casually take a bit of a glance around, as he did go to look over his shoulder and act as if he was going to try and call a waiter. Now, the two, they actually someone took notice of this, Asui in particular. And there was where Deku, he definitely felt intrigued. He felt surprised though. This is happening more and more. What the hell's going on? Okay, no, he's not being paranoid. He's being cautious. But there is no danger. This is just confusing him. It's so alarming, weird. Is his spark sense fried? No, that's Izuku? Hmm? Could we get your opinion on that? Sorry. I've been a little out of focus today. You have? Yeah, sorry. It's just a really bad stomach flu, you know? Kinda really puts a toll on you, and you just space out a bit. Sorry. Oh, did you take anything for it? I have been meaning to pick something up. I was gonna get something after I left here today. Okay, so what exactly do you think about super soldier serums? Really? Yes. As you know, the Osborne Corporation, they have made some before, but they were faulty. We believe that that was why my father, he may have gone crazy and done a lot of the stuff that he's done. However, now with him locked up in a shield facility, we are trying to fix certain things about them. We thought about discontinuing the project entirely, and while that still is the main focus on the table, we were hoping to see if we could hopefully improve them. Maybe do something with them. That's pretty dangerous. We're well aware, but we're also aware that we're well within our rights to still continue the project. We are still being paid for them, of course. I just think it's a good idea. You do? Yes, I do. As far as I'm really aware, there's only one successful super soldier, and that would be Captain America. But the serum that was used to make him was highly specific to certain genomes. I'm not exactly too sure. I mean, it was a miracle it worked on him, and he turned out to be the person he was. Really? You're saying it didn't have faults? I'm not saying that. So you're saying that you agreed with him whenever he was an outlaw, on the run from the law? No, I never said that, no. I'm saying he was a good man, and he did what he thought was right. Yes, he's done bad things. But what about Tony Stark? What about him? He does research similar to yours. However, even he avoids the super soldier projects. He understands that the risks involved are too high and not worth it, especially at the risk of creating another Green Goblin. So that does at least give me the question or ability to ask the question, why do you think it's a good idea? Especially if you have experience with what happened with your father. Ochako turning to Izuku and giving him a bit of a look of shock. And Norman and Asui, they do stare at Deku, not saying a word. We can see your concerns. You can. Yes, we do. We understand exactly why the project does seem dangerous. However, we are also aware from partial data exactly what may have been used on the Captain America project, or the Star Project as many people have referred to it as, in our company. Okay, so is there anything else specifically you're trying to work on? Well, as you know, the Osborn Corporation, they're still conducting more research into cures and stuff like that for certain ailments. We've gotten off the ground with a few things, but nothing certain. And while those projects have been discontinued, sadly, because funding ran out, there's a number of things happening with them. What do you mean? Well, we're thinking about renewing interest in those projects and bringing them back. It obviously will be interesting, but at the same time, it's also better than the alternative. Another Green Goblin versus another, well, a possible cure for cancer. It's kind of the best decision we can make. Although funding on the project from us and work from our scientists will definitely prove to be fruitful, and the data we can get and receive from it may eventually one day change the world. That's actually a very good idea. So you agree with us then? Um, sort of, yes. From an ethical standpoint, however, it does pose questions, as such as why the project was discontinued in the first place and why you went back to this other project. Hmm, that is a good concern. I can see that, but we thought about picking up where we left off, seeing if we can right a wrong. But ultimately, in the end, it doesn't seem to be making much progress as of late. And that's why we were trying to switch back over to the other project. It was snuffed out in infancy, yes, but the project was also getting off of its feet very well. And we're hoping for a number of things to happen. Interesting. So, could I put all that in my report? You can, yes. With all that going on, Deku, him and Ochako, they do at least order food. And they all do continue the conversation as they do eat. And Harry and Asuka are quite surprised. Deku very clearly knows a ton more than he says. He's calculating with his speech. He knows what to say. He knows how to say it. He's asking the right questions because he has the proper concerns. And that does say quite a bit about his intelligence. And the two are even intrigued to offer him a job at the Osborn Corporation. And Deku, yeah, he already tries to explain that he had a bit of a guaranteed position with his scholarship. And the two are quite impressed by that already. They wanted to somewhat skip over that, skip over the rest of his schooling, and send him right into a project. And Deku, he had to think about this a bit more. I mean, he'll decline for right now, but they do want to leave the offer open to him. And Deku, while he is tempted to work on radioactive things, or turning things radioactive, or, well, you know, he's tempted, but he's not definite about it. Because he knows what happened the last time he was around a radioactive spider. And if he gets bit by one again, he's hoping he doesn't turn into Tarantula. Now, with all that, Deku, he does head back to the Daily Bugle. And whenever he does arrive back there, there's just somebody, they were sitting outside the office, and they were waiting for him. And right now, Deku is going to walk in and see Cindy. As whenever Ochako is going to walk in with him, she sees a beautiful woman with long, dark hair. And she's a bit surprised. Especially a bit more surprised whenever Deku is going to walk up to her. And going to give her a kiss. Now, Deku, he gave what he could over to Jameson. He gave over his notes, and Jameson, he thanked Deku and gave him a paycheck. And Deku, he was happy about that. As there was for Deku, he went to go leave. However, Jameson also got a phone call. And he was quite alarmed. Hello, who is this? Hello, is this the Daily Bugle? This is Harry Osborn. Mr. Osborn? What can I do for you today, sir? Please don't be so formal. Yes, I'm sorry. Just wasn't expecting a phone call from somebody as, you know. Okay. Well, I'm calling in because I have a few questions, and I'd like to talk to your scientific consultant a bit more. See whether or not he'd be willing to take a job for me. A job? Yes. I did ask him earlier today a few things, but I'm also a bit more concerned whether or not he's fit. So I'd like to see a few qualifications, if possible. Maybe send him something in the mail. I can't do that. You can't or you won't? You're asking me to divulge private information. And as happy as I'd be to help you out and have you possibly call again for something, I'll have to decline that. I see. Well, Mr. Jameson, I do respect your integrity. But sadly, I believe I should go now. The man gonna hang up. And Jameson's a bit more surprised. Okay, so Izuku's clearly the right person for the job. But now the Osborns want him? That's definitely a bit weird. And right now we do actually cut to Deku. Deku and Cindy, they went out for dinner. And they were quite happy with what they got. And Deku even talked about what happened earlier today. What happened with the Osborns, what happened with Ochako, and a bit of how things were. And Cindy kind of pointed it out. Ochako was alarmed that he was in a relationship. And apparently that phone call might have been because he thought she would have gotten a bit jealous, huh? Come on, Cindy. I mean, I knew her since high school. Oh, so was she a high school crush? Yeah, actually. Oh. Well, alrighty then. I don't have feelings for her anymore. It's a professional relationship now. I see. And you two have been like that for around 2 years? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I understand. Though, I do think that tonight should be just us. How about we change the subject? Okay, alright, let's do that. Now, let's cut over to somebody else. Right now, not Norman Osborn, right now, Doc Ock, he is doing a lot. He was still focusing on his cloning projects. He was still trying to focus on how to do a number of things. But as that was happening on this world, there was on another one. The inheritors, they have been trying to find a way out, desperately. And the things that they've been able to achieve on this world, they have been slow with progress. But they have been building up. However, it's taken time, effort, great effort. And right now there's only one thing left to really do. As Morlun the Inheritor, he has to bring his own hands up, directly to his own head. And he is actually twisted off. As right now Morlun's body is going to fall over and hit the ground. And Morlun, he died. Now, with that being said, we do actually cut back over to a man in a jail cell. As Venom has popped up again, and it was quite happy to reunite with its host. And Bakugo, he was quite surprised at what happened. Venom felt better again. Venom felt cured of its sickness. But the symbiote is acting a bit strange. And Bakugo, he's not really too sure how to express it. It feels slightly different. Okay, so whatever. I'm gonna leave. And right now there actually was the man in the jail cell with him. He was alarmed to discover that his cellmate was Venom. However, he tried to think about what to do. Possibly run? Possibly try and escape? I mean, the guy might kill him. Venom is a murdering psycho. And that says something coming from him. Now, the guy, he does sit there quietly. And right now there actually is a red piece of organic material, which does go to immediately make its way into the man's hand. And the man, he's actually going to look down at his hand to see something. He might be more alarmed, as right now there is where his hand is going to turn red and going to fill up with claws. And the man, the moment he does see that, he has this own smile, realizing what this very well might be. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.